I don't know why thinking about this is making me emotional. Hello everybody, thank you so much for being here today because I'm so excited for today's video, and that is because we're going to be doing all the hobbies that I did when I was young in order to connect with my childhood. Growing up, I used to love doing so many things. I was a reader, I was a writer, a drawer, a painter, a runner, a mermaid, a crocheter, a singer, songwriter, a skater, girl, everythinger. Like, I had so many hobbies and I felt like I always had something to do. I felt like I was rarely ever bored because I had so many hobbies, and I feel like the older that I got, I just stopped doing these hobbies, and it was something that I feel like happened gradually maybe, but like it's kind of sudden to you when you realize like, wait, I haven't done that in a long time. I feel like I used to always tell people like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? And I would just list the hobbies that I used to do when I was young and something that I haven't touched in years. I feel like for a lot of us, it was something that has probably everything to do with like iPhones and the rise of technology. I grew up in a time where like there was no iPhone. You just had to do something to entertain yourself, and I sure did. But once Apple came for our necks and we bought all these iPods, iPhones, iPads, Macs, all these things, I felt like I just got so used to consuming things that I never did anything for myself. That made me lose touch with myself and the things that I like to do. So that is why we're here today. I want to reconnect with my inner child and do all the things that I loved doing and things that I feel like I will still love to do. I feel like once I got into like high schoolish time, I was going through a lot of changes, you know, the typical, and then like you care about like maybe what people think of you, how to be cool, the newest things, like not wanting to show your quirky things. Like I felt like I had a lot of quirky things. I just gave it up, and I think it was very subconscious. I didn't actively try to not have these hobbies anymore, but it just kind of happened. And I feel like if you were around my age, then we were the last generation to not have smartphones and stuff while growing up, and I'm so thankful for that, because if I had an iPhone or iPads or whatever growing up, I don't know if I would have been able to acknowledge the things that I love and the things that I want to do outside of being on my phone, which is addicting. Yeah, today we're gonna be doing 3 to 4 things that I did as a child, and this is gonna be over the next few days so I can, I don't know, really enjoy my time and try to do things that I used to do. So first up is playing on my Nintendo. So growing up, I had the Nintendo DS, and I still have it at my mom's house, and I had a white one. My favorite color is pink, but something about that white one just, they snap. I used to play Mario Kart all the time with my friends, and we could spend hours doing that. Same thing with, do you remember PictoChat? I just think like, whoa, that's like peak technology right there. Like it was a great time. So we're gonna be playing Nintendo today. Unfortunately, my Nintendo DS no longer works, and I don't even know where my Mario Kart game is. So we're gonna be using my Nintendo Switch that I have never used. We played Mario Kart on the TV and stuff like that, but I never like held it and used it to play. I don't even know how to work it. Like I literally never just grabbed it and turned it on. But we're gonna do that today. I'm really actually hoping that I enjoy playing these games, because I used to be a little bit of a gamer girl, and I feel like games are really fun, but I just don't do it anymore. I don't know any of the latest games out there. So I feel like this will be really fun. I feel like this whole video will be really fun. In a way, I'm kind of introducing you guys to younger me. So I hope you like her, and even if you don't, I don't care, because she was pretty freaking cool. So let's play Nintendo and just have fun. We're on my couch. Here is the Nintendo Switch, literally unrecognizable to what I grew up with, but we got Mario Kart, so let's turn it on. I hope it was charged. If it's not charged, then we're gonna have to do this another day. Oh my god, was it dead? Did I not plan this video? Okay, so we're already off to a great start because it needs to charge, and the whole time it was on the little thing. I thought it was charging, so I'm a little bit annoyed. This isn't off to a great start, so So I have to charge my Nintendo and I was really frustrated with myself. So we're gonna just have to play once I'm done charging it. Got me a little ticked off, but it's okay because I'm very excited to talk about the next thing. So I was a fantasy dystopian society girl. Like, I loved Hunger Games, I loved Divergent, I loved so many different dystopian fantasy type reads, and I would read all the time. My mom would tell me to go to bed and I would go to the bathroom, turn on the light if it meant I can finish my book. Like, that's how obsessed I was with reading. Once middle school was done, I felt like I just stopped reading, and then I eventually got into like self-help books, and I felt like they were really cool. I still think they're good, but like I felt like I just read it, would get like a boost of motivation, and then do nothing about the information. I'm happy now I'm getting back into it. Like, I've read so many books so far this year, and just as an adult in general, and they're romance and they're fiction, and I love that for me. I felt like I just kind of took the fun out of reading when I was reading only self-help books. I'm like, okay, cool, but like, where's the drama? Where's the romance? Like, that's what I live for. And so yeah, I've been doing that a lot, and I feel like that's all great and fine and dandy, but the one genre that I just haven't been able to get into is fantasy and dystopian, and that was my whole thing. And I feel like a part of me didn't want to like get into reading fantasy or dystopian yet, because this is gonna sound stupid, but I felt like it was almost too nostalgic and too reminiscent of my childhood and how much I loved it and how different my life is now. Like, oh my god, am I getting emotional? I need to stop. Whoa, we're not doing that. That's what we're not gonna do. I just felt like maybe because like, I don't know why thinking about this is making me emotional. Like, this is so stupid. Well, you're not gonna see a tear fall from my eye. Let's just get that straight. But I think it's just because like, it was the dystopian books that would get me so hooked. I think, oh my god, like my eyes are tearing up and I just need to say it so I can get it over with. Oh my god, I just feel like because I don't have to like go in the bathroom anymore. So far so good. There's not been a single tear, but dang. What? This is so annoying. The thing about me, right? Okay, boys, whenever I like get a little bit emotional about something, if I say it, it just makes it worse. Okay, I think it's just because now I'm old and I can read whenever I want. I don't have to like be in the bathroom anymore and like my mom knocking and be like, girl, you need to go to bed, like you have school the next day. Like, I can just read whenever I want, and I don't even have to sleep if I don't want to. And I think just the association is messing with me. I don't know. And it's really not that like, I mean, I guess it is that deep. Like, I've just recently been reflecting a lot about my life in the future, in the past, and all this stuff, and just like growing up. Like, girl, I have so many romance books. I've been reading so many books physically and on my Kindle. For this reason, I think it's just too nostalgic for me to read a dystopian fantasy book. I think it's just because of how much I loved it and just how much it was a huge like part of like my childhood. I love the Hunger Games so much, and I remember like my mom going with me to the theater to watch it. I don't know, I just remember like just so many memories. I learned how to braid because of Katniss Everdeen. That's my dirty little secret. I learned how to braid because of Katniss Everdeen. I can do a mean French Dutch braid at the side of my head. I had short hair, guys, and I would do the whole swoop thing. Dude, when I tell you it was like a huge part of my life just reading, I'm not even joking. It's funny too because now thinking about the Hunger Games and how very gruesome it was, I don't think I could read it now. Like having kids fight to the death for people's entertainment, that's some hard stuff right there. I don't know if I could read it now, but anyways, now that all that emotion is out, bro, because what am I doing? Let me tell you what we're doing today. We're gonna be reading I think this is my favorite book as a teen, preteen, whatever, and that is the Shatter Me series. This book series is now super popular, which is super surprising to me because I love this series. Like, I have all 3 books right here from when I was a kid. Look at They're such beautiful covers. But yeah, I have all 3 books from when I was a kid. It was originally a trilogy, and I was very content with how it ended as a kid. So when the authors started coming out with more books, I didn't want to keep reading it because I was like, oh, but I'm content, I'm happy. And I know how like these dystopian books can sometimes get crazy, and I think it's because Divergent really messed me up in the ending of Divergent. We're gonna be reading the Shatter Me series well, not the series today, just the first book. We're just gonna stick to the first book, and then wouldn't it be so nice that like during winter time I read this, and then maybe during spring, okay, that might be a little too extra, like if I really love the book. And this is very fall. I love that. So anyways, we're gonna be reading the first book today in this video. I feel like we'll be able to finish this pretty quickly. And it's crazy because this series was the last series that I read before I stopped reading. It's only appropriate for me to have my first like dystopian book be the Shatter Me series. So if I really like it, I'm gonna just buy the other books in the series and then just keep going. I remember the author is a Muslim girl, and I was like, oh my god, I love that for me. Back then there was like no Muslim representation, so I don't remember every single thing about this book, so I'm excited to get back into it. This is the first book that I feel like I've ever reread in my life, which is crazy. I remember feeling like rereading books was almost like a waste of time because you already know what happens, but I don't feel that way anymore. So I'm excited to read this. For the most part, all I remember is that the main character, Juliet, if you touch her, it's like fatal for you. Pretty sure there's a love triangle in this, and I'm pretty sure the guy that I wanted her to get with gets with her, and I'm pretty sure there's no spice or anything in this series. Like I read it when I was pretty young, maybe like 14, 15. Anyways, it's about to rain, so it's the perfect time to start reading. So I'm gonna read some today and then probably update you either tonight or in the next few days. So yeah, sorry about getting emotional, guys. I swear I was not expecting that. I was not. All right, so it's like an hour later. I had to charge it. I was very upset with myself, but it's okay because we're just gonna go ahead and play right now. Let's turn it on. Hopefully it'll turn on this time because it was really making me feel like I was stupid last time. Okay, so here she is. I'm gonna turn the camera so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I used to always do peach. It's only fair that I do it. And then I would always just go with the cutest thing I could find. So what's a cute ride? But maybe since I'm grown now, I should actually look at like the specs and stuff. But I don't know. What's cute? What's cute? Some of these look a lot different than what I remember. I used to love Luigi's Mansion. That was one of my favorite ones. Cheep Cheep Beach. Ooh, I love that one. There was also another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like in some type of city. I can't remember. But maybe we'll try maybe Moo Moo Meadows. Gotta have that head start, you know? Ooh, okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Great. Ah! Whoa, y'all see that? I almost got. Oh, that banana. Don't get me. Alright. Not me in first place. Okay, these laps are pretty short. Oh, and if you look at the bottom right there, I'm way ahead of Donkey Kong. Ooh, shoot. Ah! Okay. Minor setback. Okay. No problemo. These damn coins, bro. These coins are useless. I'm still way ahead of everybody. It's hard being so good. I remember too, like literally whenever I would be in like first place, they would always have just the stupid coins. Oh, I got it. Hey. Oh, look how ahead I am though. Like, come on. Are you kidding? I could have killed it. I'm not gonna lie. Probably have time for another race. All right, so quick little thoughts. It's hard being so good, like you just win all the time. That was fun. I don't know if it's something that I will always gravitate to, if I'm being honest. It's not something that's the first thing on my mind, except if I have like people over, then that's when I'm like, okay guys, let's play. And I realized like I was the same way whenever I was a kid, and even when I was talking in the beginning of the video, I would be playing these games with my friends. I do now, it's nothing like really new, so I think I'm gonna stick to that, because even playing on my Nintendo, it just hit different whenever I was with my sister or my friends and we play that way. So yeah, I still had a lot of fun though. Alright guys, So I've been reading this for about a day and a half now, and I'm a little bit more than halfway done. And I gotta say, this is not at all what I remember. But granted, I don't remember a lot about this book. All I know is that the main character, her name's Juliet, and she has this ability where if you touch her skin, she's pretty much gonna suck the life out of you. So that's really all I remembered. And I remembered the love triangle that is in the series. And I will say, I remember like in the beginning, like she is like locked up in some like insane asylum or something like that. And I remember, I guess, like little tiny like plot twists. But one of the main characters, his name's Warner. I do not remember at all his personality being like this. And that was very interesting. And I kind of feel like I'm reading this book for the first time, but I love it. The writing is really good. I can see why I loved it when I was 14 years old. And I'm like just hooked. There's not really any boring parts to me. I'm just really interested. And I'm kind of like thinking, is this gonna be a 5-star read? Because guys, I am not generous at all when it comes to my 5-star reads. I think I've only given 2 books this year a 5-star read. So we'll see if this ends up being the third 5-star read. But overall, I'm really liking it so far. So much so that my October reset that I just posted, I posted a couple days late because I've been just reading this book and have been procrastinating editing. At the time of filming this, I'm actually about to post that right now. So I'm telling myself I can't read until I post that video because I just have to make a thumbnail for the most part. But I am so excited to get back into this. I feel like I'm gonna finish it really soon. Then we can give a book review and move on to our next hobby that we're gonna do in this video. But for the most part, I'm super excited. I'm really liking it, and I'm gonna buy the other books in this series because right now I'm really liking it. Okay, so I'm probably doing too much with this video right now, but I don't care. I am wearing my Adventure Time sweatshirt that I literally bought when my mom bought when I was like 12, 13. Was I younger? I could have been younger. I don't even remember, but I was really young when Adventure Time first came out. Maybe it was like a year in, and I love Adventure Time. Last year we rewatched Adventure Time. It's gone on for so long that I stopped at a certain point because I got too old for it, but now I'm young again. So we watched all the episodes of Adventure Time, binged it so much. I love it. And apparently there's a new Fiona and Cake spin-off going on. I haven't watched that. If you have, let me know. But I'm just gonna embrace everything that I used to love and that I still love. Adventure Time, I love it. And since this is a childhood video, we're not gonna try to look cute. We're just gonna go with it. So I thought it was appropriate, especially now that we're about to talk about the Shatter Me book and my thoughts. I finished reading it and I am super excited. I feel like this is very trippy. I finished this book very quickly. I'm ready to share everything about this book. Before I share my thoughts, let me give you a quick background on what the book is actually about. Pretty much the book revolves around our main character. Her name's Juliet, and she has this ability where if she touches you, she pretty much sucks the life out of you. You know, if she touches you for a short amount of time, it's just like extremely painful, but like if it's too long, then you're dead. Her parents didn't know what to do with her. Doctors didn't know what to do with her. Nobody knew what to do with her. So they locked her up in an insane asylum. And she's been there for almost a year. And that's where we start the book off, her in this asylum, and we get to know a little bit about her while she's there. Something also to note about this is it's a dystopian society, so we are no longer in the land of the free. The government in this book is called the Reestablishment. How they took over is the environment was pretty much going to crap. The weather fluctuates. There's not really any real seasons. Animals are dying. Vegetation is dying. People are dying because there's not really much food anymore. Birds no longer fly. Like everything is very wonky right now. Like even the sky doesn't have its normal bright blue color anymore. So what happened was that the Reestablished came in and they were like, hey, we have a plan to fix all of this. Let us take over. We got you. They don't got you. If anything, they make things worse. People no longer have any type of rights. They cannot celebrate any type of holiday they want. There's no freedom whatsoever. If you are elderly or sick, you don't really have a role in society. The Reestablishment wants control over everything. People don't live in regular homes anymore. It's just shipping home container. Everything just isn't ideal. People are starving. People are dying. They don't even even give them real food anymore, and they will kill you if they just want to, and they watch you in every conversation you have and everything. You get it, okay? So that is the reestablishment, and we also get introduced to a lot of other characters, but the ones I want to point out are the first one. His name's Adam. I don't want to talk too much about Adam just because I feel like if I do, I might spoil some things. Keep him in mind. He is a key player in this series, and we meet him early on, and he plays a real big part throughout the series. And then there's also Warren.
You know when you're reading and you just don't pronounce the names of people out loud? This is what happened here. His name's not Warren, it's Warner. But in my mind, I'm not really pronouncing, I'm just seeing a name that starts with a W. So yeah, his name's Warren. What? Nope, his name's Warner. I keep calling him Warren, but yeah. Carry on.
Warren is the son of the commander of the reestablishment. So he specifically leads this sector called Sector 45, and it's just like an area where there are civilians and soldiers, and he's in charge of all of that. So he has a huge fascination with Juliet. He is honestly very psycho, and a lot of the things that he does and says don't make sense for now. There's a love triangle situation going on amongst these characters, which is very interesting. I'm trying to be very careful what I say because I don't want to like spoil anything. Honestly, I feel like this was a really good book. The writing in this was so beautiful. It was almost poetic. There was a lot of vivid descriptions and run-on sentences that just made sense. I will say there were some times where I was kind of like, this is very descriptive. I don't know if I care. And I kind of wanted to get to the point, but it's mostly because there was maybe action or a lot of plot going on. But the way that this was written was so beautiful and poetic and just made sense. And I've never read anything like, well, I have besides the actual book because I'm reading it for the second time. I've been in my romance era right now, and with all the romance books that I have been reading, it's just very simple writing. I don't think it's like anything crazy. I felt like maybe Magnolia Parks was very beautifully written, even though I hated the story. But this, I love the story and I love the writing, and I just thought it was so good. I don't think this whole year I really had a book where I was like, this was beautifully written and the plot was amazing, and this just made me really happy. And there was not a single boring page. I felt like I was really intrigued with the plot. I was intrigued with romance. I was intrigued with character development. I honestly love every character, the crazies and the not. There wasn't really much that I didn't like, if I'm being honest. Like there were little minor things that I'm not even gonna mention because it's not even important that I didn't really enjoy. Like maybe, oh, that was said weird, or I wouldn't have said it like that. But I'm not gonna nitpick every single thing to give it 5 stars. And this is a 5-star read, guys. And I feel like sometimes I almost wanted something to be perfect to give it a 5-star read, but that's not what it needs to be like. This is the third 5-star read of this year, and I think my entire experience with reading as an adult, like with fiction books, I really liked it, and I loved it so much that I actually read the novella. Like I said earlier, I already have the original trilogy, which I read as a kid, but I never picked up any of the novellas that were in Warner's point of view just because I just didn't care. But since reading this, I was so intrigued with Warner because he gives such psychotic energy that I was like, what is going on in his mind? It's called Destroy Me, and really in that book we get to learn so much about Warner, and not just Warner, even Juliet, even though it's a very short book and it's really just all about him. And we get to learn about him and his father. We get to learn about his upbringing a little bit. We get to know about why he's so intrigued with Juliet. We just get to learn so much. We also get to read Juliet's journals in that. Also gave that book a 5-star. Like I just felt like it was equally as beautifully written as Shatter Me, but just in a different way because we're in Warner's point of view, so you can tell it's not written in the way that Juliet thinks, because we know everything that she thinks and how she says things and everything. And now with Warner, we get to see how his mind works and how he also beautifully describes things. And there's this one quote that stuck out to me that I just really loved, and it was about how, you know, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and with those 26 letters you can create entire worlds and universes. And the way that she wrote it was just so beautifully written. I was like, dang, I'm really loving this series right now. I really cannot think about a single thing at all that I didn't like about the novella. Shatter Me has dark elements. I felt like Destroy Me also had dark elements in it, and I don't know, there's just something about it. I feel like this series has a perfect balance so far of action and romance, and not giving us all the answers at one time, but giving us enough to keep us going and moving, and it's fast enough. And I'm just so excited to continue reading, and I'm gonna start this one today, the second book called Unravel Me. Remember how in the beginning of the book I was like, oh, it'd be fun to read this in the winter? No, this one is definitely a lot bigger than the first one. This one had 338 pages and this one has 461. So like 130 pages more than the first book. This looks so beautiful. Oh my god, I love the covers so much. We're gonna continue with the series, keep reading. I'm not gonna take you through the Unravel Me reading vlog or anything like that in this video, but of course I will make a whole video about the entire Shadow Me series. We'll talk about it, we'll dissect it, we'll have spoilers at the end, and just have a good time. I'm so excited for that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I read the novella online. I didn't feel like buying it for $3 on my Kindle, and I didn't feel like buying it for $10 in person because it's a really short book. It's like 130 pages, I think. I read it in one day. I just read it online. I will link it below, but yeah, I'm super excited to continue reading, but we gotta move on with this video. So we're gonna move on to the last and final thing that we're gonna be doing, and I'm super excited to talk about it. Okay, so for the last thing that we're gonna be doing, it is crochet. And growing up, I used to love to crochet. My mom taught me because she was also really into it as a hobby, and I used to love to crochet little coasters, little bags for my phone when they were like super small. I always wanted to like make something big like a blanket, but I never got to it. The last thing I actually crocheted I have here, and it is this thing. I think I'm just gonna make it into a scarf. This is harder to show with my pink sweater, but you get the point. I think I'm just gonna make it into a scarf because I literally just started crocheting and never had a plan. I'm just gonna use up this whole yarn. But isn't this like a beautiful color? Anyways, we're not gonna continue with crocheting this today though. I thought it would be fun to make something quick and also really cute and creative. And I've been on Pinterest a lot recently. If you're curious, you can always see what I'm interested in and follow my Pinterest link in the description. But I saw these cute crocheted bookmarks and I was like, I really want to do it. I think it's super cute, super creative, and I think it'll be really fun to do. So for today, I thought since it's fall time, we can make this pumpkin bookmark. And I went to Michael's earlier and I got this yarn. I couldn't find like a small orange one, but I felt like this would be even better just because it has literally all the fall colors, and I can definitely see myself using this yarn for something else as well. I think it's just so cute and fall. So I'm gonna be using this for the pumpkin. I also got a brown one for like the stem, and I have some embroidery yarn for like a little leaf or something if I feel like adding that. I'm not sure, but that is what I'm gonna be working on today. We'll see if I complete it or not today, but we'll definitely see the result by the end of this video. I wanted to do a few other things in this video, but I think that just means that I have to make a part 2 and like make this a series because there's no way I can edit all of the footage that I've made so far and like even additional footage. I don't think that's gonna work out. So let me crochet, let me see what I can do. Hopefully it's really cute. I also bought cotton balls. I don't use cotton balls for anything, but I think it would be cool to use it to stuff the pumpkin, and I'm super excited to get started with crocheting. So I will keep you guys updated and show you the final results when I'm done. Okay, so I completed my little bookmark. Honestly, it took like an hour yesterday. I did it like pretty quickly, and I felt like crocheting, honestly, it was just all muscle memory. I didn't feel like I needed to get the hang of it or anything. All the pictures I looked at were really just inspiration. There was no real method. I was just like, this is the shape of a pumpkin, I'm gonna keep it like this. This is the shape of a stem, I'm gonna keep it like this. So here she is. She's a little wonky, a little unique. I put some of my embroidery yarn. I don't know, I felt like it was like viney, kind of cute, and she's a little bit crooked. I don't know, I think she's kind of cute. If I'm being honest, I ain't using this as a bookmark because it's kind of thick. I made the bookmark part, I don't know, like, I made the bookmark part, I just crocheted it down the page, which I think is kind of thick. Next time I'll probably just use a different material altogether. I saw some people put like paper clips instead, but I just don't want to tear the page. But I think she's cute. I had fun. I had a lot of fun crocheting, and there's just so much inspiration online that I'm just so excited to like make functioning things like a bag or something. So I'm gonna go back and get some more yarn. If I'm being honest, I don't really like this yarn very much that I use because there was like, you can't really see it on camera, but it was like very, yeah, maybe a little bit right there. It was like very fuzzy and I don't know, not like sturdy enough. It's super soft, which is probably why, but I don't know if it's like the best for something small like this. So yeah, I'll keep keep you updated, guys, with my crochet journey. If I make anything interesting, I'll be sure to share with you. But that is all for today's video. I had a lot of fun. We did a lot of fun things this week. We did some gaming, we did some reading, we did some crocheting, like just some of my favorite things that I did when I was younger. If I'm being honest, I think reading and crocheting was probably the most fun, and then gaming the least. I still had fun with it, but I just need to do it with other people. And maybe I was also just a little bitter because I didn't charge it. I don't know, but I'd like to play games with like other people around. I don't see myself forcing myself to play games if I don't feel it just for the sake of it. But no matter what, I still had fun. I love the Shatter Me series. I'm on to the second book now. Keep you updated with all of that. I hope this inspired you guys to pick up some hobbies that you used to do when you were younger, because I don't see why, like, if we enjoyed it back then, why we wouldn't enjoy it now. It's a great way to just not spend time on social media looking at things that don't matter, thinking of things that really don't matter, and just like put all that time into yourself. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below of some hobbies that you used to do when you were younger and that you would like to get back into. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.